Welcome to the Survivor Series War Games review. We're going to be talking about absolutely everything. How's every single one of you? And Paul and I, we're being away a little bit because we're been focusing on the World Cup. We're taking with Mauricio in on Spanish. We'll start to do English also. But you guys thought that we were not going to do Survivor Series. Yes, we're going to do it. We're going to talk about this pay-per-view that it was like little different, more focused on war games, not on like brand supremacy. That's kind of like out of the question for this year. And also like traditional matches like Survivor Series, we didn't see that. Actually, two war games matches. So Paul, did you like this new version of Survivor Series? Do you miss the old one, or how will we stand about these 5 matches that we saw today?
You know what? If you play it off however the storylines present themselves, that's fine. If next year it's brand versus brand, or if it's typical Survivor Series, or if it's another War Games, I felt like this year, you had Team Bianca versus
Team Bailey or
Damage
Control.
Control. That feud, they kept having match after match after match. It had to lead to War Games. This was the big blow off. And this was the same thing with all these people who were feuding with the Bloodline. They wanted their one last, shot to get their revenge against the Bloodline, and they were having their chance here in War Games. So it all made sense. Next year, if, you kind of do a Raw versus SmackDown, if they really want to incorporate, whoever wins the most matches at Survivor Series, wins for the draft, if the draft is going to actually be legit and this and that. But I don't think it will, but that's a whole different discussion. But no, long story short, I liked it this year because I thought both of these feuds, they called for a big War Games match. And one thing on that, I thought it's funny. Everybody, when they want to get hyped up and they're like, War Games, and they want to yell it like they're William Regal.
Yeah,
no,
and there
you're
was a
not
meme.
Regal. Don't try it.
We're gonna miss him. War Games, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they did a good thing with War Pigs, so Black Sabbath and all of that.
That was legit.
Yeah, and
awesome,
then, like you said, the video
video
package that you sent me, really, really cool with Ozzy and everything. Oh, well, so buy my new record. I'm about to die, I mean, cool things on that, but we're going to have a great time with you, family. So don't forget to please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment, and also a like. We're trying to grow as much as we can, and it depends on you also. You got to give us just, that little bit of a boost. And like Paul said, this is the match that opened up Survivor Series War Games, Damage Control with Bailey and against Bianca Belair and returning Becky Lynch. So that played the wild factor. I thought to myself, maybe Bailey should get Team Bailey should get the win just because they need it. Heels need more wins to just establish more storylines, to prolong them, to make them, last more. But here, what did you think? We had Alexa Bliss, of course. This is that's more like a me thing. This is a personal thing. Alexa looked finally cute after years of I don't know, she didn't look that confident. But I mean, the match itself a little sloppy at moments, a little too long. They took an hour. I kind of timed it like an hour or 8:55 or something, because the pay-per-view starts at 8. But what do you think overall? Did you like it? It was better than the ones we seen on NXT? Because I feel NXT, they had a little bit more edge to these War Games matches.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me if I either liked it or hated it, and it's that yes or no, I would say I liked it. I mean, there was definitely a couple spots, especially early on, but throughout the match where you're like, this is either taking too long to set up, or it's sloppy, or it's not done right. Io Shirai and Bianca Belair, I don't know if it's language barrier or what, they had a little back and forth early on. That didn't look very good. Even when Bailey came into the match later on, she went to go do a sunset flip onto Bianca
sunset flip, flower bomb, and then she was in the turnbuckle. Yes.
Yeah, but instead of hitting the garbage can lid, she missed the garbage can lid and just hit the turnbuckle. Bailey smacked the lid. Damn, I missed the spot up. So I mean, just lots of stuff. But hey, that's what happens when you have 10 people in 2 rings and it's filled with kendo sticks and tables and ladders.
Trash cans.
And tigers and bears, oh my, and everything else, But no, I mean, it was crazy. But, I mean, I liked it. And I liked it because I thought, okay, I know that everybody in the main event is smart. Because as soon as you know this one's coming on first, and you didn't need to know which one was going to be first, which was going to be the main event. The men, the Bloodline, they're going to be the main event. And, they're going to start the show here with the women, try to get the crowd hot, with this action here. And, they're doing all the craziness in this match. So I thought, okay, they're not going to do it in that main event match. So I was fine with them just loading up the craziness here, just getting it over with. Now, I know some people don't like it. Oh, I don't like seeing a woman get put through a table or this or that. But I mean, if they're willing to do it and they sign up for it, they're all trained here. They're professionals. They're smart most times than not. They come out here unscathed. So I don't mind it so much here as I do seeing it in other companies. It makes you cringe a little more. But I mean, this was good. I thought, they kind of strategically played it out. Nikki Cross looked good in this, man. She was taking everybody out.
Yes.
And
the craziness, the factor, like, for example, like, she'll go all the way to the top and she'll just be looking around, like
yeah,
completely,
they played the
like the wacko, like the crazy person. I like that, and she did look good. I also I can say that Io Sky. The one thing Michael called upon, Io Sky, the genius of the sky. Io Sky, the genius of the sky. I'm like,
well, yeah, I mean, hey, why did they change her last name? That she should have just been Io Shirai.
It should just be Shirai.
Should still just be Io Shirai. I don't know why the Io Sky thing. Maybe that was even her, part of her idea, but I doubt it. I'm sure that was Vince and Triple H is like, whatever, we'll just keep it.
And we'll just go with it as long as she goes to the main roster.
But I mean, her and Asuka had some back and forth. That was pretty good. Like I said, there was some good stuff in here. Mia Yim, just besides everybody trying to throw in all, you have a doorway and you're trying to fit tables and ladders and everything that's just wide enough that barely fits through. And it's, it's too crazy. It takes way too long. And you see everybody in there, they're just kind of punching each other real slow. Like, well, come on, bring it in. How many times am I supposed to punch them? Like,
we need to keep going this. Come on, let's go.
I mean, even Corey Graves, he said it at least twice. He's like, man, instead of trying to get this stuff in, you should maybe go in and help your teammates.
Yes,
come on.
He did mention about Mitchin, right? Mitchin, the Mitchin Mia Yim. That's how they call it.
Yeah, but and thankfully, she's still Mia Yim, but she has the nickname that's not an official name change.
Yes.
It's just like a nickname.
So that's good. They can play both.
Korean. Yeah, but I mean, she looked good in there. She looked like she could hang with a Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, which we know she has in NXT, but we haven't seen her for a while. And last time on the main roster, we all know about Reckoning and how awful that whole gimmick was.
Yeah. I guess a lot of people forgot that. You didn't, but good memory there.
But I mean, this, just everybody I thought, played their part in this. This was good. There was a spot where Io Shirai was up on the top, kind of towards the end of this thing, and she does a moonsault off the top, takes out, it was Bianca, and I forget who else.
It was Bianca and Mia Yim.
And Mia Yim.
It was both of them. Yeah.
And when Bianca, she grabbed the knee immediately, fell, so was selling it like crazy. I saw the ref hit the the radio, and I thought, oh shit, is she hurt? But maybe they were even saying to him, hey, is she hurt legit, or is she just good at selling? And the ref was maybe like, no, she's just good at selling. We're good, because she was up later delivering KODs and everything. So thankfully she wasn't hurt. But I mean, Asuka, the green mist to Rhea. Rhea looked like a star in this. She hit the Riptide really on Becky. Strong. She probably would have pinned Becky with a Riptide. I think she hit it on somebody else as well later on.
I think it was Mia Yim that she did.
Yeah, but Rhea was the last one to come out for her team. So she was obviously, hey, you're the powerhouse. You're the heater. You're going to come out at the end and clean everybody up. Like Sid in the War Games match where he came out, killed Brian Pillman in that match. And, that's how you got to do it. They played it smart here. But unfortunately, they didn't get the win. Becky Lynch,
comes
they
out.
had the tag team champions laid out on the table. She's up top.
Big leg drop.
Yeah, the man ass drop, boom, right through the table. 1, 2, 3, pins Dakota Kai. So, they get the win here. And to me, anybody winning, anybody losing, each team could have benefited from a win, but, each team losing, they're all stars. Everybody on the team, like I said, could either be the tag team champions or the Raw or SmackDown
or fighting
women's
for
champion,
for number one contender
for them
to go against Bianca. Like here, here you have like 2 matches that you could do a tournament or something, and then determine number one contender. Like you said, is like all these girls deserve an opportunity. That's what they should do. Because again,
to me,
they're
the
all
only
mixed in
biggest
a team.
And there's still a lot of stars too that weren't even in this. Raquel Gonzalez was hurt; she wasn't a part of this. You have Shayna Baszler wasn't a part of this. Ronda Rousey,
Liv Morgan is not part of that. So like you see, there's a
Liv
lot of
Morgan,
people. Emma,
even though Liv Morgan was champion, I would still put Liv Morgan in like and Emma. They're in like the mid card. They shouldn't be champions. They should maybe be getting wins on TV, trying to be
trying to get to that level, to that main event. But for example, Alexa Bliss is exchangeable with like a Liv Morgan. How are you gonna an Emma? Even Emma, she knows she's done matches like more risky matches than the ones that we've seen in WWE and Impact. She's trying to do different things. So I'm also you can put in the conversation because Alexa Bliss, she didn't have a great performance. She did what she's able to do. That's all she does. She doesn't go beyond that. There's that limit, and then that's good because everybody else does their part.
And the thing about Alexa Bliss and why she gets put into a match like this is because she's a star.
Yep.
And I mean, she's popular. She was teaming with Asuka. They want to keep her in that main event scene because she is popular.
That's pretty much the reason.
She is over, so that's
really... pretty much the reason. But like I said, the good start of War Games, like I said, maybe a few little things, but again, Becky Lynch, like you mentioned, like she made the match special and getting the win for the baby faces. I guess that was the right thing to do. I disagree with that. I feel that like it should have been just the heels. Why? Because again, if you want to prolong the feud, unless this is going to be something that they do a tournament, again, she needs like a clear #1 contender out of these other 4 girls. That should be for me what happens with the Roman Women's Championship. This is, just a segment that will get us to the main event because, like, Kevin Owens talking to Sami saying, we're friends, what are you doing? Turn on them, and Jimmy heard the conversation. He overheard the conversation.
Yeah, no, it was Jay, and he pretty much said, like, hey, what are they going to do with you when they're done with you? They're just going to turn on you, get rid of you. You might as well do that before you get rid, before they do that to you. But you might as well turn on them or ditch them. And then, Jay heard it. Jay said to him, hey, did you talk to anybody before you got here or anything? He's like, no, I just got here. What are you talking about? I didn't talk to nobody.
And then, don't you like how Paul Heyman is just in the back as the background?
I was laughing. I didn't see him at first. I'm watching this for like, oh my God. It was maybe right when Jay got up is when I noticed Paul Heyman. I just started laughing. Was he back there the whole time?
But he's just so great. How he plays that, he's just in the background. And, and then Wiseman, and it's like, yes, my tribal chief, that is such a cool, like picture right there. Such a good image. I just love that because it's just right there, just like whatever, I'm just like, well, listening to everything.
And that's why I always say about Roman is people say, who's going to beat him? Or, why even think about who's going to beat him unless somebody's actually ready and deserves it? Because look how good he is. He's not like a shitty champion. Like no offense, but when Seth Rollins was babyface and right before he lost it to The Fiend, man, we couldn't stand him. Oh my God, this guy is unbearable as champ. Nobody is hating on Roman.
No.
People love it. He's so good. He's presented good.
We had to acknowledge the guy. Yes, it's for sure. And,
and this segment was good.
And having Paul right there, like I said, that makes a whole, completely enhances even he's not doing anything, but him just being right there enhances the whole segment. It makes it take another level. Let's go to the next match. This one was supposed to be just like the wrestling match out of all these 5. If you love professional wrestling as pure wrestling right here, AJ Styles and Finn Balor gave you like that. I don't think they went all the way, Paul. I think they kept it in, not all gear, they didn't go all the way on this, but they kept it pretty, enjoyable for everybody. And, the storyline with the OC and the Judgment Day. Good winner here because, again, they need this because Judgment Day is being portrayed really strong as up till now. What are your thoughts on this? Because, for me, we've seen these matches before. We saw the attack from the OC and Judgment Day, Dominic and Damian Priest. But did you enjoy this? Because for me, this was for what I saw, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, no, this was definitely, I'm going to say even though there was Gallows and Anderson and I almost said Balor, Dominic and
Damian Priest.
Even though all 4 of them were going at it and they kind of fought in the crowd and this and that. So, yeah, there's that spot. I mentioned it. Don't got to talk about it again. Even though that stuff all happened, this was still definitely the best, like you said, wrestling match of the night. It was maybe not the best match, maybe not the most exciting match, but if you're looking just for, the wrestling aspect of it, no, this was definitely the best one. And this one I almost thought could have went either way because I don't know who they're really trying to push here. Is this feud going to continue? This and that, like you said, the OC, they weren't really presented that legit. They even said, Rhea Ripley, powerhouse. She just, pretty much body slammed Luke Gallows. They kind of put over Carl Anderson, this and that. But, yeah, I mean, he beat Damian Priest, but he hasn't really done too much since he's got here. And AJ, man, he hasn't looked good. And what has AJ really done besides being tag champ with Omos?
They even said, Paul, I don't know in what it was. I don't know if it's Raw or SmackDown. They said that AJ has not won on pay-per-view in the last 2 years.
That's what I mean. It's so man, the OC and AJ, they really needed this win, and I like the video package they did. just going through,
The
you know,
whole
all the
story.
history with these guys. I love the line from Finn Balor, you know, they don't even make the cloth that I was cut from anymore, you know, badass line there. I mean, this match was really good. I liked it. You know, he had him in the heel hook, or the, not the heel hook, but the calf crusher.
The calf crusher,
and he
right there.
had him in that. You know, is he gonna tap? Is he gonna tap? No, he starts slamming AJ's head against the mat. He gets out of it eventually. You know, it's a little more back and forth. Sets him up for the phenomenal forearm. He hits it 1, 2, 3. I mean, great stuff. I actually didn't think that was going to be the win. I thought maybe he was going to kick out or some kind of shenanigans, some bullshit, you know, whatever. But no, I'm glad AJ got the win, man. That was great. And if they have another match, I'll be excited. Like they said, there's only the second time they fought. It's, you know, been what, 4 or 5 years, I think.
It is 5 years. 2017 is when it was. 2017.
Yeah, I was going to say
Battleground. I think it was.
It's been a long time. So, you know, maybe we'll see this sooner than later. Maybe WrestleMania. I mean, hey, that's still, what, 4 months away? That's still a while. 4 or 5 months away. That's still a little bit away. But, you know, it's a lot sooner than 5 years. So
exactly, no, and it will be good. And like you said, AJ deserved the win. Like here, just because he, out of the two, like, you know, Finn Balor, he beat Edge. You know, he's been having a lot of wins with the Judgment Day. Now the OC, remember how the OC was portrayed before, like legit crap. Now at least, you know, with this win, maybe they can start getting some, you know, good like baby face like wins and all of that. So I feel that like they can do a lot better with AJ Styles. We'll see what happens now. Like you saw in the picture, the Royal Rumble is going to be January 28th on a Saturday. They keep that, you know, going. Like I feel that like they enjoy that better. What about you, Paul? Do you like better the pay-per-view to be on a Saturday or a Sunday?
I mean, I think you have people that, you know, they might start work Monday morning, you know, I want to go to bed by 10, or I want to be, you know, eyes shut asleep at 10 o'clock because I got to get up at 5 in the morning or whatever, you know. So then you're not going to see who wins the men's Royal Rumble. Well, what the hell? That sucks. No, put it on a Saturday, man. Everybody's staying up late. You know, they're going to have beer, pizza, hang out with their friends, their family, whatever.
Exactly. You're making it a date for everybody that enjoys wrestling.
I think it's better on Saturday.
It's pretty enjoyable, like you said. So, like, they're going to have that. Tell me a little bit about this because this was just quick. And for me, if it was going to be, I mean, you're going to tell me yes, Juan. So, yes, it was supposed to be quick. They did the right thing. So, don't get mad at me, Paul. Please don't. But it's just like, if that was going to be the point, just don't have the match. You know, Ronda Rousey, for me as a champion, doesn't do a lot if the opponent doesn't do anything. And Shotzi, she's an entertainer. She's a good wrestler. I enjoy what she does. But like in this one, it was just quick. And it showed me that she was never even ready to be the number one contender. Maybe Raquel was supposed to be the one involved in this. But, you know, especially the one thing, Paul. Why Shayna there? Can't just Ronda beat her by herself? You know, I didn't like that either. Because you're making her look even weaker.
Yeah, especially because in the beginning of this thing, you know, again, when they showed the video package, everything leading up to this, you saw Shotzi, the underdog babyface, but she was beat up, you know, chewed up and spit out through this whole process till Raquel came to her rescue. But then they beat up Raquel, so now she's out. So, okay, now, you know, is it going to be the same thing? Yeah, it was. But in the beginning of this match, not so much. She starts taking out Ronda and Shayna. And you think, what the hell? These are both two shooters.
Yes.
Like, they should be able to whip her ass like no problem. And I mean, okay, yeah, it's a storyline, it's a work, it's a, you know, it's a fantasy put on television here. But come on, what we saw for how many weeks, we see her this, but then Ronda takes over, and then Shotzi tries to make a comeback because Ronda's cocky, and it's just, the match wasn't good. It had the heat where the crowd was booing and they were chanting, "We want Sasha." And you know what? For them to boo and say, "We want Sasha," that doesn't do really anything for Ronda in the sense that it doesn't make Ronda look weak. If you boo a heel, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
And if you say, "We want Sasha," that means we want Sasha to come out here and beat up Ronda because we want Sasha to be our champ. So, okay, you should want to see the heel get beat up. To chant "We want Sasha" only does one thing, and it makes Shotzi look like shit.
Yes, and that's how she looks.
If you ask me, it makes her look like shit. And that's why they cut the crowd mic. They didn't want nobody to hear that. So, you know, for the people that maybe thought they were getting a rib at Ronda, no, it was really at Shotzi. At least that's how I see it. But now this match, I mean, this could have been on SmackDown. I know it's Ronda Rousey. She's one of the biggest stars in the whole women's division. You know, she's one of those, to me, the Hulk Hogan of women's MMA. She might not be the best. She might not have been the first to do it. Might not have been, there might have been people before her that did it better.
Popular.
But she's the one who everybody knows, made it popular. When you put on your TV, that's the one who you'll recognize out of any of them. But, I'm fine put her on pay-per-view here. She got a win. That's fine. But I don't know if Shotzi was ready.
Yeah.
And they even kind of said it.
I agree with you. And
they said this was her first singles, title opportunity.
Pay-per-view match.
And it's on pay-per-view.
Yeah, now even Liv Morgan look a lot better, and we're not saying that Liv is better than Shotzi. Maybe some people will say yes, some people might not agree with that. But see, Piper's Pit, and then as soon as she locked the armbar, tap, as soon, don't you want to give it a little more credibility to your challenger? I'm saying maybe not even a whole minute, but 30 seconds.
What happened when Ronda used to lock in the armbar, hold it? And then it'd be screaming, and then Ronda would pull it and fall back, and then it's okay. Now I'm done. She should hold it for 10 seconds and then yank back on it real hard, and then be okay, now I'm done.
It makes it
but
more
not
believable.
Immediately gets it and I'm done immediately.
Exactly.
Really?
So that's what I didn't like. But again, for me, if you would have, you always mention when we do this the match that should have been cut from the show, I would have cut this absolutely. Again, an episode of SmackDown, even on main event, because I don't really care for seeing this type of stuff. There's, a lot about Samy talks to Roman. This was just great because Samy's hey, whatever they tell you is not the truth. I'm with you. It's I didn't tell this to Jay because it's I just didn't want any problems. But again, it's Roman asks, he's are you loyal or you're gonna stop us in the back? He's no, I'm loyal. This means the world to me that I'm a part of the bloodline. And they gave a hug. That was just really cool. So Paul, well, just to talk about the segment, the story.
Yeah, I like when they hug. You see Samy, he's so emotional and everything. Like he said, I didn't want to tell Jay. He had the big match. I didn't want to distract them, but they lost anyway. And, but no, I love the bloodline, this and that. And, he was emotional. He hugged Roman. And you just see Roman's face, and he just looks completely dead serious. Yeah, straight face. Just staring into nothing. And, it was great because you thought, okay, does Roman trust this guy? Or what's
I was thinking that he
here?
didn't. He didn't, and
yeah, and he still he might not, he might think, okay, hey, what's going on here? Maybe I should keep an eye on him, me and the wise man. But no, this was a good segment.
And once again, Paul, Paul Heyman being right back there. Oh, great, and that was just cool. This is the match that I enjoyed the most, and especially because they made the right thing here. Triple threat for the United States Championship: Lashley, Rollins, and the Men of the Theory. Pretty good match, Lashley showing the power, the strength, he's I'm better than both of you. I can even take both of you. There you saw he did a DDT and also the flatliner on both of them. Rollins kind of is the combination of both because he's as powerful as Lashley. Maybe not the same, but he has enough power to damage Lashley. And Theory kind of hey, I want to just surprise both of them. I can get whatever opportunity I get. I'm going to do something. So it was cool. I enjoyed this for the whole thing, especially the winner. What did you think?
Yeah, and not similar booking or spots of taking a guy out or really working together, but it almost reminded me kind of was it the SummerSlam match where it was Lesnar, Cena, and Rollins?
Yes. No, that was Royal Rumble 2015.
Royal Rumble, yeah, Royal Rumble. Thank you. Yeah. And it's okay, this one guy, big guy, in this case Lashley. It's man, he's a monster, and probably because Rollins was in it, that was the correlation between the two. But kind of gave me those similar vibes. But no, this was good. Like you said, Lashley a monster. He immediately throws Theory, get out of here, kid. Shit cans him out of the ring. And Rollins is so good. I don't want to say he's not as good as Walter or Gunther or whatever you want to call him, but they're really presenting Rollins as the guy on Monday Night Raw. He's really trying to say, if you want to be the man, you need to be the United States champion.
Yes.
And they're really trying to hammer that home. And Rollins is a guy who he was doing that pretty good. I thought he was over, maybe a little bit flamboyant in the gimmick. I don't want to, not that I didn't like it or I didn't think it fit him, but he's such a talented wrestler. He's so good that, maybe people didn't take him in the title seriously because he wasn't taking himself seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of being the dancing
and all of that, yeah.
He's over though. He comes out, the whole crowd, Oh,
Yeah,
they all the whole they love it. You know, it's
it's
not
true.
just one Mark who's just doing it. No, the whole freaking building is doing it. And
Yes.
I mean, he's good. This match was great, but no, we still got the whole main event to talk about. But I mean, I love the ending, man. He picks him up, and then for the Falcon Arrow, boom, he
Spear.
spears him, and Lashley not Lashley, Theory just falls right on top of Rollins. 1, 2, 3. Lashley goes to break it up. Like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
Like,
He's
and then
like,
it
I did
says,
all the
no,
work.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, great ending. You know,
This
you see
ending, Paul,
Austin
don't you
Theory.
remind you when you play like the WWE games? Sometimes it
Yep.
happens to you. You do a finisher, and then the other dude shows up out of nowhere, and then does a move on you, and then you go pin the other guy, and then you win. So it was
Yep.
great. It was like absolutely like so smart. It was cleverly done. I enjoy this, and you
Yeah,
know,
this was a
triple
good
threat, Paul,
finish.
they use the stair, you know, like the steel K, like the stairs and everything. I like that because it's triple threat, no rule, no DQ. Also good, nicely done. WWE, you know, and a lot of things, like you said, because you're gonna tell me about Michael Cole in a little bit, but like in everything, they're making more sense. They're trying to be more careful about rules and outcomes on those things. Really cool stuff. And this guy gets the title. Look how serious he looks. And everybody was saying that on commentary. No more selfies, no more like smiles, no more like daddy with Vince McMahon. All of that is like it's my time now, and they keep saying that. So like you said, I'm thinking that 95% think the match with Cena is the one we're going to see at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense. You know, even if Cena, he has long history with the United States Championship. Yes. So if Austin Theory is still the champ, which Royal Rumble's only 9 weeks away, and then WrestleMania is not too far away from that. So, let Theory hold the belt. You have Rollins he can maybe feud with Lashley, or maybe we already seen that. And I don't know, he does something else. Hey, be creative. That's why you guys get paid and make millions of dollars, so you can write creative television. But,
yes, exactly.
So speaking of writing, I would love to find out who was behind the finish of this, because I thought really creatively, the way it was done with the whole spear, when Rollins was setting up the Falcon Arrow and everything. But, this was good. And like you said, Michael Cole, I think he's one of those guys, too, that's improving with Triple H's whole regime. He's allowed to speak more freely. All the commentary is. Not just Michael Cole, who got
Corey
the shackles taken off. Corey Graves, everybody else. We have Michael Cole mentioning here, everything with, we're going to talk about the main event too, but like the War Games matches, the history. They said the Jim Crockett Promotions, the first War Games match, Team Sting versus the Four Horsemen and J.J. Dillon. They talk about all that. And they mentioned it again, Sting by name. He just wrestled last Saturday for AEW, or 2 Saturdays, whenever that was. So,
yeah.
Why Vince McMahon would never let you mention another guy, pay-per-view star like that. But, they're going to do it for the sake of wrestling. And I appreciate that when, they talked about some of the stuff with Asuka and Io in their match, their history in Japan. The Finn Balor and AJ Styles mentioned stuff from Japan with Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, all that as well. So, I mean, great stuff. And Michael Cole, all these guys, I'm glad that they're able to actually show their knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you think, oh, this guy's an idiot. Doesn't he know about this in Japan? Well, yeah, of course he does. But he's told if you say it, Vince in the head say, God damn it, don't say it,
don't acknowledge it. Exactly. That is because for years, WWE was like, they always thought of themselves as the only land from pro wrestling. They will refuse completely to acknowledge other parts in the world that did professional wrestling also. So like you said, this is cool. It makes not to hate the commentary team as much. Now you're like, okay, I actually like these guys. So that the main person to be guilty of, it was Vince McMahon. He was actually damaged his own product by not letting these guys be free and talk whatever they wanted to say, and as long as it made sense with the story, what they're trying to like portray here. And I agree with you. It's more enjoyable to just watch these guys, because every time they name drop something, they name dropped Dean Ambrose. That was like something also, because they were saying that this is the 10 years of the Shield debut. They say Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. So that was cool. So that brings us to the main event, talking about the Tribal Chief. You said that you enjoyed this War Games match. For me, it was, out of all the War Games that I've seen, I'm used to more like the NXT, the Undisputed Era. Maybe they gave me a lot more. But that's the only thing that will tell you, though. They never acknowledge NXT, because it's the first time in such a long time that they've done War Games, or the first time in the main roster. Not really name dropping NXT, but for me it's okay. But overall I feel it was decent. I thought maybe a little more for me, but like, you enjoyed it. Tell me why.
Yeah, and you see, maybe you're in the mindset of like the crowd where you think, well, maybe the first War Games match should just be the only gimmick you really use is this cage itself, and the main event should have all the toys and the tables and the ladders and everything. And they did it opposite, because Roman Reigns and the Brawling Brutes and the Bloodline and all them, they don't need, the gimmicks to tell their story.
They don't need the toys, the props.
Yeah, they can tell their story just in that, but it might not be as exciting. It might be a better story. You might be able to follow it. Nobody might end up as hurt, but it might not be as exciting. So that's the trade-off in that. So I can understand where, you might go, well, the NXT ones with a fucking, sunset flip power bomb on fire through a table,
yes.
In an exploding,
I remember
ring
when
surrounded
Ciampa
by
did
sharks.
Like the fusion or whatever, they were like the thing and on
the air raid crash. Yeah, that's what I mean. So when, people see that and then they get hard-ons, so that's what they love. And when that's what you're conditioned to and that's what you love, and then you don't see it, I can understand going, oh, what the heck. But I guess that's what they have wrestling on Wednesday nights for. But I mean, this was good. It was the whole story. What's Sami Zayn gonna do?
Yes.
Starts off with Jimmy Uso.
That was the main focus, I
think. And Pete Dunne. And they go at it. Then Rich Holland is next. Babyface has won the advantage on SmackDown. Rich Holland and Pete Dunne, man, they're just beating the shit out of Jey Uso. They go, okay, man, Jimmy's chomping at the bit, man. That's his twin, man. That's his Oosh. He's getting beat up. Door opens. He's going to run out. Roman. No. Then Jimmy looks at him, well, what the hell? He says, Sami goes. Sammy's like, me? He's like, yes, you. I'm thinking, yeah, you. Jay's getting his ass whipped. Somebody better go help him. So then Sami eventually runs down there. Okay. He gets in there, helps him and everything. And then you think, okay, now how's this match going to play out? I thought Kevin Owens was going to be next. I thought, okay, we're really going to go into it. But no, it wasn't Kevin Owens. I think it was Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, it was Drew McIntyre.
And then, then was it? Then it was Jimmy, then Solo.
Then Solo, yeah.
Then,
Roman, of course, was going to be last one.
Yeah, and then you add Roman last, and Kevin Owens was last for his team, I think, or was it Sheamus?
No, it was Kevin Owens.
Yeah, so I mean, but this was good, and but it wasn't too long. I don't know if the other matches maybe the women's match went a little long, because you got to think when you're the first match, you really don't think how much time you have left.
The time management is important.
The show just started,
because that sets the tone for the rest of the show.
Exactly. So maybe they went a little long, and this, hey, we're not going to go as long. But, I mean, this was good. I thought, the one thing is nobody in this match really looked that strong. There was nobody that, like, in the women's match, you could say Rhea Ripley. You could even say an Asuka.
I would say Mia, for example.
Maybe Bianca, Mia. That's what I mean. There's a couple names here and there. People could argue. You could pick out and say, no, man, they really looked good. I mean, in the men's match, you could say, okay, yeah, maybe Sami Zayn because of everything he did. I wouldn't say Roman Reigns. He almost got pinned. You know what I mean? So you're not going to say Drew. You're not going to say Sheamus, Butch, Ridge. You're not going to say none of them. But nobody really looked at maybe Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens might be the only one.
Yeah.
Because he got cheated and this and that, and he was maybe going to score the pin on the Tribal Chief. But nobody in this match really looked that good and really stood out. The only thing that I think everybody was invested in and that stood out was just
the story with Sami Zayn.
It was Sami Zayn, exactly. So, I mean, this is something, hey, it's on Peacock. You want to watch it, go watch it right
Paul,
now.
This is when the picture, when the story actually starts to develop even more, because I think it's like Jimmy that misses the super kick and on Sami. So it's like, what is he going to do? Is he going to really be with us? Is he going to turn against us? And then Kevin Owens did the pop-up power bomb, the stunner. Like Roman also put I think it was a Drew McIntyre on the table and all of that. So you see Drew got out. A lot of the main guys got out really, really early on the match just to focus on the main story. And as you can see, Kevin Owens does the stunner and is about to win, and Sami grabs the referee's hand and everything. So that was the beginning of all of that. Here's when I actually get into it. Just here because okay, what is he gonna do? What's going on? You see this Paul low blow for Kevin Owens, and the Usos are watching that. It's okay, what are you gonna do? So they're checking every single thing. Is he being for real? Is he serious about this? But he did the haluva kick and everything, and then they did also another move, and they get the win.
Yeah, Jay did I believe it was Jay. He did the splash from the top.
Yes.
Covers Kevin Owens 1, 2, 3. And this was good, yeah. And like you said, they did have the tables. They did do some stuff, but it wasn't as crazy, wasn't as intense. And like you said, everybody was a non-factor. And I think it's because Drew's not going to do damage because he's not going to go after Roman.
Yes.
Sheamus isn't going to go after Roman. None of these guys are going after Roman. This isn't a, the only one who maybe is in that conversation is maybe a Samy Zayn if you turn him.
Yeah.
And if you do turn, I mean, he already is, I would say, the biggest baby face.
Yeah.
And if you turn him, he'll officially be the biggest baby face. So, I mean, this was
Look
good.
at his face.
You saw the emotion. The Bloodline wins, man. They're happy, and you even see him and Jay, man, they hug. So now Jay believes in him.
Exactly.
Okay, this is legit.
In the
They're
picture
setting
you can
this
see
up.
like Roman and him hugging. So like, you're showing the loyalty. That's the key word right there. Loyalty. And when they turn him, it's going to be just a great feeling. That was like the moment you're looking for as a fan. When he turns and finally is like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. But like, like you said, it was a pretty well done for the ending and for the story. Everything was about the story. The match itself didn't care. You weren't looking for the spots. You weren't looking for like the big moves and all of that. No, this is what you were looking for. To give me a reason to believe that Samy Zayn at some point he's going to turn. Don't you think?
Yeah, and I mean, this is something, like I said to you right before we started, my number one locked in absolute pick to win the Royal Rumble and to challenge Roman Reigns, if he's healthy and ready, is Cody Rhodes. That's not even, you don't question that. That's, you set your watch to it because it's, it's definite. But if he can't do it, and you can't think of anybody else, I wouldn't think too hard because you have Samy Zayn right here. Man, if he is in that match, Roman, don't worry, I'll just eliminate guys, blah, blah, blah. It'll all be for you, the tribal chief, this and that. And if I win it, hey, we'll just lay down and you just pin me 1, 2, 3, whatever, But if he wins it, okay, the people start cheering Samy. Samy starts believing in it. Well, maybe we do have the match, and or I don't know, you book it better than I'm booking it right now off the top of my head, but you do something and you really go in all in on this. And Samy doesn't have to win. He doesn't have to haluva kick, Blue Thunder Bomb 1, 2, 3. He's the world champ. No. I still don't think he, again, loves Samy Zayn, but I don't know if he's the guy who dethrones
Roman Reigns.
But
the story calls for it, though.
But I mean, if that's the match you do, I mean, heck, if you don't have Cody, I mean, I wouldn't say Drew. I wouldn't say Karrion Kross. I wouldn't say Lesnar. I wouldn't say Theory or Rollins.
Or The Fiend.
Or The Fiend or anybody like that. I mean, shit, the only person that you would do that would just be completely random, if you could somehow sign him, would be a CM Punk. But I don't think you sign it.
Oh, yeah, no. Like you said, I mean, this to me makes more sense because, again, you're giving me the whole story. You're giving me so many reasons to believe that, like Samy Zayn at some point can believe. You just said it. Believe in himself to the point that, like, he can win. Why not? I'm part of the bloodline and all of that. And who else will know the bloodline better than somebody that's actually in it? And he said, I'm one of like the 5 guys that can actually be here with you. He mentioned Heyman, Uso, Solo, and me. So you see, like, there's a lot of like seeds right there telling you that at some point they're gonna turn the guy. So I liked it. That to me, I feel the whole story is what is really the biggest outcome about this pay-per-view. It's just Samy Zayn, just coming out as like the biggest babyface. People don't see it, but like just the reaction right here in the picture when he did the thing right there, that tells me it's be a babyface. Because the heel doesn't have any remorse for what he does. He did.
But yeah, that's the thing. You don't need to have the best wrestling matches. You don't need to have Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat on every pay-per-view, every match, for it to be a good pay-per-view. You tell a good story here. Maybe the women's match, that was a bunch of spots. That was all exciting. You had the good story with the AJ Styles, the good wrestling story, wrestling match. But I mean, the story, I don't want to use the term sports entertainment, but the wrestling storyline that you're really intrigued in, the main event that you want to see what happens. You don't want to miss any detail. That's here with the Bloodline and Samy Zayn right here in the main event. And man, they hit a home run. This was great.
Yeah. I
don't think anybody's going to have a problem with this ending. They're going to love the progression of Samy Zayn and the Bloodline and everything. So, I mean, this was good. Like I said, maybe it wasn't the best War Games match, But I think the story here, they did a good job. So Triple H, man, good job here on Survivor Series. We're excited to see what you do in 9 weeks for the Royal Rumble.
And also, like you said, like, great thing that you just said, because as of right now, the calendar year for WWE ends for 2022 pay-per-views main roster. This is the last pay-per-view. We will not see. There's no more TLC. There's no more like day one. Neither one of those is going to be placed. Last pay-per-view of WWE as a whole is going to be in 2 weeks with NXT Deadline. That's the last one that closes the year. But for the main roster, this is it. So we're just gonna see Raw and SmackDown, and this whole story like calls for like you to watch SmackDown because it's great. So then the next pay-per-view we're gonna see is gonna be the Royal Rumble. So like you said, we're like 2 months away, like 2 months and a half away from that. So we'll see, but this is just great, and we're gonna keep covering because it's just how good the story keeps going. Paul, family, thank you so very much to every single one of you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Thank you for being with us one more time, and don't forget to drop a comment. Where can they find us?
And guys, follow us on all of our social media. Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
Next week, more wrestling, more World Cup, recaps, summaries, all of that. And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...